Most of the time when you think history, you think boring, right? Ancient civilizations with names you can't pronounce, dates, facts. I mean, who cares? But sometimes, history can slam right into the present and totally blow your mind.
Hello, one and all, to my latest video in which we take a look back at a Disney Channel original movie, Phantom of the Megaplex. Directed by Blair True and written by Stu Krager, Phantom of the Megaplex premiered on November 10th on the Disney Channel. And that's all I know. Like seriously, I scoured the internet for any information I could find regarding the production of this film, but there just doesn't seem to be anything interesting about the making of the movie. Which really sucks, because I loved this film as a kid, and I'm really excited to watch it again for the first time in years. Now without further ado, grab your popcorn as we jump into Phantom of the Megaplex. Our story begins with our main character Pete, who goes over some history for us. Originally having opened in 1925, and while originally a hit, the theater eventually wasn't able to sustain profit as the times changed and it was demolished, though a legend persists that one poor soul was inside while this happened and haunts the site to this day. Now in present times, a brand new Megaplex stands at the site, and this is where Pete works.
That's me, Pete Riley. My mom thinks I work way too hard, but she really doesn't get it. Do the counts? Yeah. I'm the youngest assistant manager they've ever had at this 26-screen Megaplex.
What? What? A 17-year-old assistant manager? Jesus. And here I am, a 24-year-old bum making YouTube videos in my parents' house.
That's our senior manager, Sean McGibbon. He's freaking out because our theater owner and Sean's personal idol, Wolfgang Niedermeyer, scored like the coup of the century.
As Pete explains, Sean is getting ready for a blockbuster called Midnight Mayhem, which is having its world premiere presented at their theater. Next, we're introduced to...
Stop! We're gonna need one of us on either side and one in back, or someone's gonna end up with a major hernia, okay?
That's Ricky Larry, or as we call him, Ricky Rules. No matter what you're doing, Ricky's got the procedure for it.
Ricky is a micromanager who's a stickler for the rules.
And it crushed them, and one kid got killed, and the other one's lost a bunch of fingers and toes and junk.
That's Terry Tutora, nicknamed Scary Terry. She's got 100 stories to tell, and all of them end in death and destruction.
Then there's Terry, a girl who has a boner for death.
Hillary Horan, aka Hillary Honey. She's like your grandma in a teenage body. Calls everybody sweetie and baby.
Hillary is the motherly figure in the crew, whose defining traits are her politeness and care for others.
Hey Mark, could you please sweep down the carpet for me?
With a broom, you mean?
Mark Jeffries. Or as I call him, Question Mark. You can't say anything to him without getting 100 questions in response. Yeah, with the broom.
Ah yes, my main man Mark, who like me is super insecure and asks 100 questions for every task he's given.
I straightened up the ticket booth, cleaned both ladies' rooms, washed the popcorn maker, and stepped inside the elevator. Now what?
Lacey Ling, aka Racy Lacey.
Next is Lacey, a girl with a super bubbly personality and fast-paced talking, which often make her a bit overwhelming to work with. Something I should know about. Look how fast I talk in these goddamn videos. I can't help it. I'm sorry!
Read the presentation criteria checklist on my booth wall, and you'd know that digital soundtrack misthreading is the #1 cause for customer grievances.
That guy? He's our head projectionist, Merle. Ask a simple question, get a way too complicated techno-speak answer in return.
And here's our first contender for Nice Guy of the video, Merle, who's way too into his craft and makes sure everyone around him knows it.
Meet Movie Mason. He doesn't work here. He just thinks he does. It was Mason's family who opened the original theater on this spot in the 1920s. Mason loves movies more than anything. When they tore his place down to build the Megaplex, he had a hard time letting go.
And finally, there's Mason, whose family opened up the original theater back in 1925. As an absolute lover of all things cinema, Mason spends his days at the Megaplex despite not working there. The legendary actor Mickey Rooney portrays his charming character. An uptight Sean discusses the importance of tonight's premiere and makes it very clear that he expects no funny business from his workers.
I expect to see the straightest bow ties, the neatest vests, the most polished shoes.
Sean, are you sure? Because once I heard these kids with really shiny shoes.
No, shush. Terry, rise to my level or be gone.
Be gone, fuck!
Sean is interrupted by a call from the Megaplex's owner, Mr. Niedermeyer, who informs him that his son-in-law is poised to take the general manager position on the location, which would make him Sean's boss, much to Sean's disliking.
You're a good man, Pete. You might go places in this organization. And since Mr. Niedermeyer expects the impossible this evening, If anything does go wrong, I'm fully prepared to blame you.
Fuck you. At home, we meet Pete's younger sister Karen and his brother Brian, with both of them being movie buffs who constantly quote things from their favorite films. The two of them will be going with Pete back to work tonight as their mother has a date. I just hope it's not with a vampire. Alright, but seriously, it's kind of funny how both these movies came out literally a month apart, and both feature three siblings with a single mom going on a date. The hell is, why is he eating like that? Like an animal holding his food close to him so no one else can have it. Oh my gosh.
Don't you think you've been putting in too many hours down there?
We go over this every month. The answer is still no. I love my job.
Yeah, but all work and no play.
It's gonna make me really, really rich.
And burned out before you're 30.
Pete's mom worries that he's working way too hard and wants him to just be a kid and enjoy himself for once. So I guess that's gonna be his arc this movie.
It's a disaster, a total calamity. How could nearly half our staff pick tonight, of all nights, to simply not show up?
Wait, what? How are 3 people calling out nearly half your staff? I mean, Pete literally said earlier.
On a typical Saturday night, we have 52 people working.
Ooh, Chekhov's gun.
Looking sharp there, Petey.
As the long night begins and people start packing into the theater, we meet our token bully Donnie. As it turns out, Pete scored some tickets to the premiere tonight for his crush Caitlin, and Donnie isn't too happy about that. When Pete's mom drops his brother and sister off, they tell her that her boyfriend better be proposing tonight, as she reminds Karen not to see the scary movie she wanted to go to. Okay. The mom's boyfriend's in the sun, and based off of Disney Channel lore, I can confirm that he is not a vampire. We're in the clear, boys. Weapons down! Weapons down! With the line not moving, Brian goes to see what's holding everyone up. Only to oh my god, the goddamn dog is barking again. With the line not moving, Brian goes to see what's holding everything up. Only to find that Mason is holding up the line as he encourages these patrons to see a different movie, as he does not believe the one they bought tickets to is true cinema.
You want to give this a chance?
Hey! Put your hand down. Mickey Rooney is a national treasure and you'll not harm him.
Oh, sir, please, if you just settle down.
Well, tell this guy to cut with the critic act and let us into our movie.
I'm only attempting to impart to him that the magic of the movies is a treasure not to be taken lightly.
Oh my gosh, he's so adorable. The reason Mason is working the ticket booth is because they are so understaffed, forcing Sean to give Mason a chance, and he's not happy when it blows up in his face. Uh-oh, we have our first suspect as to the identity of the Phantom of the Megaplex.
Look, you and Brian get into your show and behave, okay? We're way too short-handed. We got this huge premiere. Niedermeyer calls every 5 seconds to say that everything has to be totally perfect.
Hey, that's Duncan's girl, bro. Back off. When Brian accidentally breaks off a candy container, Donnie comes along and makes matters a whole lot worse. What the fuck? What the hell was that delivery? Why is everyone so impressed? I actually do remember this scene because of how cringe it was. How is this even helping? I guarantee you hit a bunch of people with those gumballs. Unfortunately for Pete, Donnie swoops in and whisks Caitlin away as he somehow manages to clean up the entire gumball and popcorn-filled floor.
Hey, that was sweet.
Okay, I don't think that was in the script. I think this random extra just came up and did that. He does not look comfortable. Karen drops her brother off in this kid-friendly movie as she sneaks out to meet up with her friends to watch a scary movie her mother warned her not to see. Meanwhile, Pete tries to put the moves on Caitlin.
Here. Guard it with your life.
Oh, wow. How romantic? But Pete's flirting is cut short when he's told the popcorn machine is malfunctioning. And right after that, Pete is rushed into a theater where a projector is on the fritz, much to the displeasure of the audience.
I'm Pete Riley, the assistant manager here.
What, do you want a medal?
Yo, why the hell are these people so mean? Brian stops by and warns Pete that this is the work of the Phantom of the Megaplex.
The candy bin crashing down and now this focus thing?
Hey dude, that was, kinda your fault. Wait a second, we might as well add Donnie to our suspect lineup as he also helped cause a spill, which makes him a contender for being the Phantom. Speaking of our malevolent friend... Why the hell are there eye slits in this? Oh, clue! Okay, we can take Mason off our suspect list because those are definitely not Mickey Rooney's eyes. Which means we're back to square one. But don't worry guys, we'll have this case solved yet. The staff is even more scattered now as Sean has seemingly gone missing. A character mysteriously goes missing? Pretty sus to me. Add him to the board!
This is really getting weird. Where could he be?
I heard once there was this multiplex in like Oregon or Michigan or one of those places, and every Saturday night for 2 months, a different guy.
While Terry and Lacey are getting spooked by the Phantom, Pete works with Merle as the two of them attempt to fix the broken projectors.
But although I'm underpaid and underappreciated, I'm still numero uno at figuring out how and why things go wrong.
Alright lads and lassies, we have yet another suspect on our list.
This is getting way too spooky. Terry and I looked everywhere for Sean. We absolutely can't find him. And then when we're coming out of his office, this total kind of black. Sean out of nowhere and ran down the stairs. I'm so not kidding. We both saw him.
Why won't you guys admit it? It's the Phantom of the Megaplex.
Shut up, Brian! Hillary informs Pete that the fog machine has gone missing, so him and Brian go down to investigate.
Is that you? Who did this to you?
Probably be easier for him to answer if you took the tape off.
What happened? I came down here to get these ropes. Someone shoved me from behind, held me down, tied my hands, put tape over my mouth before I saw a thing.
Alright, likely story, but I have a rule around these parts. If we didn't see it happen, then we can't take a character's word for it. How convenient that Sean somehow didn't see the assailant despite the amount of time it would have taken them to subdue Sean. I got my eyes on you, Shawnee boy.
Dun dun dun! Phantom of the Megaplex is back!
Shut up, Brian!
Sir, it's not that I didn't want to answer your calls. I was simply tied up.
Tied up. Alright, we've approached the halfway mark on this movie, so I think it's time to do some detective work and try to deduce which of our current suspects is perpetrating tonight's phantom tomfoolery. Let's first take a look at Donnie. Being Pete's rival, Donnie stands much to gain from this night of misfortune. Not only would he destroy Pete's career and future prospects at the theater, but he'd also be able to swoop in and get the girl while Pete is at his lowest. The first time the Phantom struck tonight was with the gumball machine, which Donnie was directly involved with. Along with that, this whole job does seem like it's too big for one person, thus we can arrive to the possibility that Donnie is not working alone, as his unnamed friend could be his accomplice. Now, what about Merle? He gives us some motivation when he mentions how underappreciated and underpaid he is. And along with that, he is also shown to be quite tech-savvy and smart, which the Phantom would have to be in order to pull off all these tricks. But I don't know. My gut's just telling me that he's not our guy. And my gut's never wrong! Well, except for that time at that Mexican place where it told me it'd be fine to eat all those spicy enchiladas. And now on to our final suspect, the big man himself, Sean. Now, it originally appeared that Sean would have nothing to gain from this disaster. However, that all changed this morning when he was told that he would not be promoted to general manager, thus giving him clear motivation as to donning the persona of the Phantom, as an act of revenge. However, while it is questionable how he managed to get tied up without seeing his assailant, I fail to see any clear ways in which he could have bound himself up, unless he had an accomplice of course. But as we do not have a clear indication as to the identity of this hypothetical accomplice, we are only left to carry forward with the film and gather more intel.
Hey, we're from Disney Channel's newest original series, Wizards of Waverly Place. Get ready for Phantom of the Megaplex.
An evil phantom haunts people in a movie theater.
Does he talk during the movie?
Worse.
Wow, this guy really is evil.
Phantom of the Megaplex is up next.
So, and please check all theaters for any signs of trouble. Where is your bow tie?
What'd you say?
Where?
You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
Pete drops off Brian back with his sister and warns them to stay in the theater and not to try and be heroes. But of course, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Don't you get what this guy's doing? In glimpses of Genevieve, the projector was going nuts. Glimpses, see? In cut to black, the lights were going on and off.
The titles match the troubles.
Exactly.
You know, despite annoying me, Brian did some excellent work here in deducing the Phantom's MO. But before they can figure out where he's going to strike next...
It's a tornado!
What? Okay, so this is just not how wind works. Firstly, the fan is not even pointed towards the audience, and even if it was, it wouldn't be able to produce that much gale force. Secondly, the wind would lose power as it is forced to turn around the corner, thus making the power of the gust here simply impossible. God, this movie is so stupid.
Am I the only one who understands the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
Whoa, just take it easy, man.
Sorry, Billy. Alright, that's fair. I'm willing to suspend some disbelief in regard to the physics of the fan. However, that does not explain just how someone moved this gigantic fan into the theater without anyone noticing. This is the same theater Caitlin and Donnie were in whilst we clearly saw the fan outside, meaning it had to have been moved in the middle of the movie. This case should be open and shut, but of course Pete is too stupid to—
This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
I'm sorry! Oh, I'm sorry! We cut back to Pete's mom and her date George as they beat around the bush on the whole proposal thing. But that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that Pete's mom gets a call from an unknown number.
Oh, who's this? It's not a number I recognize.
Oh, here.
Really oddly, instead of picking up her own phone, her date gives her his phone to then call the number herself? Why not just pick up on your own phone? It's so Nope. I've learned my lesson. Pete tells her he won't be able to drive Karen and Brian home tonight due to the staffing shortage, and Pete brings them down to the entrance where she'll pick them up. But on their way there, Sean stops and tells Pete his theory.
It's Movie Mason, our so-called Phantom. Think about it. He's ticked at me for having tossed him out. He's never gotten over the fact that he doesn't still own this place. What better revenge than ruining our biggest night?
Mason would never do anything that mean. Movies are like sacred to him.
In my opinion, that crazy old coot is capable of anything.
You don't know him at all. He's like the sweetest person that ever lived.
Why are these small people talking to me?
That's racist.
Guys, will you just cool it? All right, this doesn't concern you.
It does if he's gonna go around bad-mouthing Movie Mason. Yeah.
I am telling you, he is our Phantom, and
So Sean tells Pete to try and find him, though Karen and Brian are adamant it's not him. But of course they defy their brother's wishes and search for Mason. Unfortunately for Pete's mom and George— oh wait, I've actually been calling her Pete's mom this whole time. Does she have a name?
1 wiki search later.
Ah, okay, Julie. So, unfortunately for Julie and George, George's car breaks down, and so she calls the theater back to update Pete on her predicament.
City morgue.
What the fuck? So she calls again, but this time Mark picks up and tells her that he'll go around and look for Pete. Okay, what the hell is with this ominous music? Karen and Brian explore the basement? Wait, what? Is this like a whole underground complex? Does every movie theater secretly have this? I have— ah!
Phantom?
Okay. So the two siblings foolishly continue their downward trek into the bowels of the basement, where they find a menagerie of seemingly abandoned movie memorabilia.
Hello, children.
It's not you, is it? You're not the Phantom of the Megaplex, right?
Children, when we arrive in this world, magic is all around us. Yet, as years pass, simple pleasures aren't quite so simple to find. True wonder is harder to come by, but there's always magic at the movies. Pirate ships, bicycles that fly, and we all learn. There's no place like home.
Man, I just had to show that whole scene in its entirety.
Hi, future me here. Well, I wish I could show the whole monologue. Copyright law would simply not allow me to do it, so whatever. But overall, Movie Mason explains that he couldn't possibly be the Phantom as his passion for movies would never allow him to sabotage a viewing experience. Also, do you guys like this mic better? Does Does my voice sound less stupid on this one?
It was just a truly well-crafted scene. Firstly, with the genuinely unnerving shot of the Phantom's head fading into Mason's, and to the surprisingly suspenseful build-up towards Mason's response. And of course, Mickey's delivery is an absolute unmatched performance, as he recites his monologue talking about the magic of movies. Anyways, back to the story. It turns out that Sean has yet again gone missing. And Pete's problems don't end there, as Donnie pulled Chekhov's gun out of the stone, which was apparently part of a contest in which the winner receives free movie tickets.
Because Donnie pulled the laser sword out of the meteor, and now he wants his free movie passes, but nobody can find Sean. And Ricky's telling Donnie about it.
You'll get your stupid passes, but I can't give them to you tonight.
Then let me stay for the premiere. She gets to stay.
She and Lisa have tickets. We're all booked out. There are no more seats.
And Donnie wants them for tonight's premiere of Midnight Madness so he can be with Caitlin.
I gotta deal with this, Donnie. Then, I'll be back to personally toss you out.
Deus Ex fire alarm stops the fight before it can even begin, and Pete abandons Mark to deal with the angry patrons when he spots his siblings who are supposed to have been picked up.
We've ID'd the Phantom. It's Merle.
I knew it! I knew he was our guy right from the moment I laid eyes on him. Fuck you, Batman! I'm the world's greatest detective now! Oh, okay, fine. I'm the second best detective. Okay, number 3 is just fine with me. Okay, I'm totally content with being Okay, at least I'm in the top 5. Okay, 6. Oh, god damn it!
We've ID'd the Phantom. It's Merle.
Anyways, Brian declares that only Merle is tech-savvy enough to have rigged these projectors up, though Pete isn't buying it.
Remember what he said up in the projection booth about being underappreciated, everything's too computerized, all that junk?
Hey, that's what I said! Oh, this little turd's just copying my hard work! But Pete decides to give his brother's theory a chance, and goes to confront Merle. Alright, step aside, kid. I'll take it from here.
Hey, what are you doing over there, Phantom?
Hey, give me a chance to question.
Hey, catch this! He's still got that creepy trailer playing down there.
Hey, I'm the lead detective here, and you shall show me some
A likely story.
Oh, I don't get to do nothing here.
Come on, we got our guy right here. Why don't you two want to do anything about it? Brian, look!
Whoa. He's real.
So the gang goes off to find Sean and use his computer to figure out the plot of Midnight Madness so they can attempt to be one step ahead of the Phantom. Okay, I'm beginning to think this guy just has a really weird kink.
I came up to call Niedermeyer. I was jumped from behind again. I was blindfolded, handcuffed, and hung on the door like a bag of dry cleaning.
Okay, you know what? Sean's definitely the Phantom. I don't know how he managed to restrain himself yet, nor does it make sense why he would, but he's definitely part of this somehow. Trust me, guys. My gut's telling me this, and my gut's never wrong. Okay, fine, let's not jump to any conclusions and see how this pans out.
Oh, Mr. Niedermeyer! Welcome, 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 sir. How glorious to have you here this evening, along with your entourage. Are you? We are, sir.
Why did he raise his arm so high?
Lacey? Lacey, no!
I think that was the last balloon.
That phony super coney Hollywood. They come from Chillicothe and Paducas with their bazookas to get their name up in lights.
Oh my god, he's so cute! Ah!
Listen here, you freak show. I could have sworn I told you to keep away from here this evening.
Is there a problem?
Stay out of this, lady. It's your her.
Can I introduce my friend to you, Miss Madison Ashley Metz?
Okay, now that was satisfying. The kids find out that the climax of the movie involves a giant monster sucking the air out of the auditorium full of people, and now they need to figure out what to do with this information. Informing their brother on this new information, Pete believes this will involve the giant inflatable monster balloon we saw earlier in the film that just so happened to have gone missing.
Hate to say this, but I probably could learn a few things from hanging out with you guys. Ah, come here.
Unluckily, their little heart-to-heart distracts them and allows the Phantom to tie them up. While the three of them are busy attempting to free themselves, Julie and George arrive and search for the kids, eventually finding themselves in the auditorium for the premiere of the movie.
So, without further ado, let the mayhem begin.
Okay, wait, I gotta watch it again. As the guests panic and flee, they find their exit blocked off by King Kong and... What the fuck is that? Queen Kong? Huh. Surprised Hollywood hasn't made that considering all the gender-bent remakes they're making nowadays. Oh, god damn it. The kids manage to free themselves and go to assess the chaos taking over the Megaplex.
What are we supposed to do now?
May I offer a suggestion?
Mason, where'd you come from?
I left Miss Metz to use the restroom and all heck broke loose. If you're willing to take advice from an old-timer, we might just be able to save the day.
Of course, I'd listen to anything you say, Mickey Rooney.
It won't come out, Mason.
Keep at it, lad.
Okay, never mind, that guy's got dementia. Does anyone have a pen we can use to pop the balloon by chance?
Yeah, well, you can keep pulling till your arms fall off. Or you can do this.
Oh man, that was dangerously close. And so our heroic Pete jumps onto the giant inflatable and pops some holes into it, releasing the air and deflating the monster. Pete pursues the Phantom and a shadowy battle ensues behind the curtain.
It's Mr. Carswell, the bank president.
How about that?
So yes, it turns out Sean is the Phantom, which I knew 100% from the beginning, no question about it. Don't at me, alright? Don't look back in the video, don't scroll back to see if I was wrong, and I know.
The only reason I'm not arresting you for malicious mischief is because I still have a premiere to get underway.
What are you talking about? You're not the police, you're not the one arresting him, just call the cops and they'll take him away.
I'll ensure that you never again work in any theater in any city in this state.
Ooh, so scary. So now that the villain of our story has been unmasked, let's find out his reasoning for causing all this mayhem tonight.
Is that clear, McNall?
MacGibbon. MacGibbon! For once in your life, get it right! My name is Ding Sean MacGibbon, and I did all of this tonight just so you would finally notice me.
Wait, what? How does creating all this chaos supposed to make him notice you? Like, maybe if you set up everything just so you can save the day and pretend to be the hero, but you didn't do that at all. What the hell was your plan here, bro?
You know what I was saying up on the roof about lightening up a little? That's a good thing, right?
Yes!
I'm 17, not 70. I mean, aren't I supposed to be enjoying myself?
Totally.
Oh, there we go. Character arc complete.
I'm telling you, it'll write itself. Phantom of the Megaplex. The Sean McGibbon story. You'll come to LA. We'll be partners.
You mean it?
Wait. So Sean ends up facing no consequences for his actions. In fact, it seems like quite the opposite. I mean, to be fair, he didn't do anything too malicious. Just mostly committing some asshole pranks. The only actually dangerous thing I can think of is the gumball. I mean, look, that woman totally died. Oh, and he did restrain the siblings on the rooftop, which easily could have led to them falling off. Why is this guy getting off so easy? What's the moral here? Oh, I get it! This was all a metaphor for YouTube prank channels and how they act like total assholes in public, harassing innocent people for clout, and despite being total douchebags, they're rewarded for it. Wow, you were right, Billy. I finally understand the complexities of a cinematic masterpiece. Bravo! Bravo indeed! Oh yeah, and George proposes, I guess.
Will you marry me?
How can I resist?
She can't say no because of the implication.
Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
If it wasn't for their detective work, we probably wouldn't even have a premiere.
What about me? So in the end, the day is saved and the family is closer than ever.
As long as I've been around this place, I never really believed in the Phantom of the Megaplex. Now the werewolf of the Megaplex. That's a different story entirely.
Come on, first they tease werewolves and mom's got a date with a vampire, and now this? It's been 23 years, Disney, get to it! In fact, I'll write and direct it myself. That's right, I had a character arc in this video too, and I decided to give up my career in detective work and pursue my dream of storytelling. So yeah, that was Phantom of the Megaplex. It's undoubtedly a charming film, and it does a good job of taking advantage of its unique setting of a movie theater, which I would personally love to see more of in other media. While I could have sit here and bitch about the glaring plot holes regarding Sean's plan and his kinky bondage. Like seriously, what the hell was his aim here? There was absolutely no guarantee anyone would come down to the basement Nora's office, and what if no one came? Would he just dangle there all night? Like, I got setting up a red herring, but you have to at least make it make sense! Yes, I could moan about the plot holes for hours on end, but watching this movie again for the first time since I was a kid reminded me of why I love cinema in the first place. Mickey's monologue on the magic of movies made me realize that they don't have to be perfect. They don't all have to be these tight, intricate tales or these award-winning dramas. The magic of movies is that they can be anything. We can walk down yellow brick roads and befriend iron giants, and can suspend all disbelief because that's what films are for. To make us laugh, to make us cry, to make us feel. As someone who has struggled with depression for most of my life, I know what it feels like to be empty. To not feel anything. But movies are the one place I could always turn to that I knew could reignite the dulling fire burning out within me. And if that's not magic, I don't know what is.